So now we're going to go over the uses and the risks, or like the pros and cons of using radioisotopes and of nuclear energy. But to start off with some benefits or some positives. First is the medical field. We use things in the medical field called tracers, and a tracer is a radioisotope that we inject or ingest so we can follow the path of a material through a system, kind of like tracing a leak in a pipe, but inside the human body. Medical radioisotopes must have short half-lives. Okay, the reason is because we want them to do their job, decay quickly, and be eliminated from the patient's body so they don't cause any long-term radiation damage. One is iodine-131. Thyroid gland in your neck naturally absorbs iodine. So if a doctor wants to detect or treat a thyroid disorder, they use iodine-131. It heads straight to the thyroid and it's able to be tracked. A cobalt-60 is used in radiation therapy. This can be used to kind of blast and kill different kinds of cancerous tumors. And then technetium-99 is one that's very common for brain, bone, and heart scans because it emits clear imaging signals, but it has a super short half-life of just 6 hours. The next benefit is radio dating. We can use the steady, unchangeable half-lives of isotopes, almost like a historical clock, but you have to pick the right radioisotopes for that job. If wooden tools or something like that, you would use carbon-14. But if you want to figure out how old a rock is or how old the Earth is, rocks were never alive. So inorganic materials would use things like uranium-238 or phosphorus-40. These have very long half-lives. It's able to be detected and we can figure out and date when that material was. Radiation is also used to test the strength of materials, like checking for microscopic cracks in airplane wings. But it's also used in a grocery store. So radiation is used to irradiate fruits and vegetables and milk. It kills bacteria and mold on the food without making the food radioactive itself. So this drastically extends the shelf life of lots of different things. Okay, now about the risks. So radiation is incredibly powerful, which means it carries heavy risks. So first is the long-term challenge of waste storage. So when a nuclear power plant uses up its uranium fuel, that fuel doesn't just stop being dangerous, it remains highly radioactive. So because elements like plutonium half-lives are tens of thousands of years, we have to find places to store this toxic waste safely for hundreds of thousands of years without it leaking into the water supply. There's also a risk of catastrophic accidents like what happened at Chernobyl or Fukushima. If a reactor's cooling system fails, it can cause a meltdown. Okay, so maybe you've heard of like a nuclear meltdown or a radioactive meltdown before, but this releases massive clouds of radiation into the atmosphere, which is not good. Finally, and also in high doses, it can cause serious illness or acute radiation sickness and death. But even in low doses over time, ionizing radiation can alter DNA, which can cause mutations in genes and cells, which frequently leads to different kinds of cancers.